Rain drizzled outside the small apartment window as 24-year-old Emily Carter stared at the flickering candle on her homemade cupcake. "Happy birthday to me," she whispered, her voice trembling in the silence. The single flame reflected in her tired eyes that had forgotten what laughter felt like. Her phone screen glowed beside her, empty of messages. Not a single call, not even a happy birthday text. Her parents had passed years ago, her college friends had drifted apart, and work was just a cycle of polite smiles and lonely lunches. The silence felt heavier than ever. She scrolled through social media, where friends posted photos surrounded by families, parties, and love. Something in her chest cracked. She typed "rent a family service" into the search bar. The idea sounded absurd at first, but curiosity pushed her further. She found a local agency called Heart Companions offering actors who played family roles for the lonely, mothers, fathers, siblings, even friends. The idea made her uneasy, yet something about it drew her in. Family for a day, warmth without judgment. The slogan lingered. That night, Emily filled out the form, listing what she wanted: a mother who could hug her, a father who'd say he was proud, a brother who'd tease her gently. It felt silly, but she clicked submit. The next morning, she got a confirmation. A woman named Lydia would be her mom, George her dad, and Ryan her brother. They'd meet Saturday morning for a family picnic. She almost canceled a dozen times that week, but loneliness whispered louder than reason. Saturday arrived with golden sunshine and trembling nerves. She stood at the park entrance, clutching her purse. When she saw them walking toward her, smiling, warm, like something out of a forgotten dream, she froze. "Lydia!" waved. "Emily!" she called out, her voice so naturally motherly that Emily's throat tightened. "Oh, sweetheart, look at you." She pulled Emily into a hug. For the first time in years, Emily felt what a mother's warmth might feel like again. They laid out the picnic blanket near the lake. Lydia unpacked sandwiches, George poured lemonade, and Ryan joked about ducks stealing snacks. Emily found herself laughing, real laughter, the kind that startled her because she'd forgotten what it sounded like. Lydia brushed her hair behind her ear, George asked about her job, and Ryan teased her about being the responsible sister. It all felt strangely real. They played cards, shared embarrassing childhood stories, and fed ducks. At one point, Lydia placed her hand over Emily's and said, "You're such a wonderful young woman. Your parents would be proud." Emily blinked back tears. How could this woman she'd just met say exactly what she needed to hear? When Ryan offered to take a family photo, Emily hesitated. "Just for me," she whispered. They huddled close, the mother's hand on her shoulder, the father's arm around her, the brother making a goofy face, and for a moment, Emily wasn't pretending. She had a family. As the sun began to set, George looked at his daughter and said softly, "You know, Em, sometimes life gives us the families we make, not the ones we lose." She nodded, swallowing the lump in her throat. When the picnic ended, Lydia hugged her tightly. "You're loved, dear," she whispered. "Don't ever forget that." Emily paid the fee, thanked them awkwardly, and watched them leave. The moment they walked away, the air grew colder. The laughter, the warmth, the illusion gone. But that night, as she stared at the photo, she smiled through her tears. For one day, she'd been loved. The next week, Emily couldn't stop thinking about them. She replayed every laugh, every word. The house felt emptier than before, and soon she booked another family day. This time, they'd go to an amusement park. Lydia greeted her with that same warm smile, but something was different, practiced, professional. When Emily tried to ask personal questions, Lydia dodged them. "Better to keep things light, sweetie," she'd say. But Emily wanted more than light, she wanted real. As they walked, she noticed Lydia checking her phone too often, George looking bored, Ryan distracted. They were acting. She'd known that all along, but now it hurt. "You're just doing your job, right?" she blurted out at one point. Lydia froze. "Emily, no. It's okay. I thought maybe you liked me, even a little." Lydia's eyes softened. "Of course I do. But this what we do, it's to help people remember." What love feels like. Not replace it. Tears stung Emily's eyes. But what if I can't find it for real? Lydia touched her cheek. Then you keep trying, sweetheart. Because one day, it won't be rented. The words haunted her. That night, Emily didn't sleep. She realized she wasn't just lonely, she was empty. Pretend love wasn't enough anymore. She needed something real, even if it hurt. Weeks passed. Emily stopped booking heart companions, but the silence returned, heavier than ever. One day, while sitting alone in a cafe, she saw Ryan, her rented brother, working behind the counter. Their eyes met in shock. He looked embarrassed. Hey, long time, he said, rubbing his neck. Didn't expect to see you here. You work here? She asked quietly. He nodded. Yeah, acting gigs don't pay much. There was an awkward pause. Then, unexpectedly, he smiled, the same warm grin from the picnic. Want a free coffee? On the house, they talked for hours, not as actors, but as real people. Ryan told her his real name was Noah. He'd only joined Heart Companions to pay rent while trying to finish film school. Emily admitted how lonely she'd been, how those fake moments had meant everything to her. You know, Noah said softly, I thought you were different. Most clients just wanted photos for social media. You actually wanted connection. She smiled weakly. Guess I'm a hopeless case. Nah, he said. Just human. From that day, they met often. Coffee turned to long walks, then movie nights. For the first time, Emily didn't feel like she was pretending. Months passed, and Emily's world slowly brightened. She and Noah became inseparable, two broken people who understood each other's loneliness. One afternoon, she found Lydia's number on an old receipt. On impulse, she called. Lydia answered, surprised but happy. Emily, dear, how are you? Better, Emily said softly. Thanks to you. And Noah, Lydia chuckled. That boy always had a good heart. I wanted to say thank you, Emily continued, for showing me what love feels like, even if it was pretend. It helped me believe it could be real again. Lydia's voice trembled. Then it wasn't pretend, sweetheart. That Christmas, Emily invited Noah, Lydia, and George to her tiny apartment. They shared a simple dinner, laughter, stories, warmth filling the air. For the first time, she didn't pay anyone to stay. As the night ended, Emily looked around the table and felt tears blur her vision. She'd rented a family once to feel less lonely. Now, she had one not by contract, but by connection. When everyone left, she stood by the window, watching snow fall softly outside. Her reflection smiled back. No longer the girl who rented love, but the woman who learned how to make it real.